Hello and welcome to Exercise 10, Chapter 4. The objective here is to introduce Svelte special elements to handle global events, demonstrate dynamic DOM manipulation, and explore recursive components for controlled rendering. Some elements have been deprecated in SK5, so I am not covering those here. Also a quick look at self-referencing recursion. What you will learn. 1. Special elements use Svelte head, Svelte window, Svelte document, Svelte body, and Svelte element for global events and dynamic DOM manipulation. 2. Global event handling, capture and respond to resize, click, and key down events at the window, document, and body levels. 3. Recursive components, learn how to implement and control recursion safely with depth-limited self-referencing components. 4. Dynamic content creation, dynamically generate DOM elements using the Svelte element. 5. Reactive state management, update the UI reactively based on global event listeners tied to Svelte special elements. Let's see this in action. I will open chapter for Exercise 10, Special. You see a set of Svelte special elements numbered 1 to 6 and an explanation of each below. If you click the left arrow to minimize the exercise selector pane, you should see that both message 1 and message 2 show body and document clicked. Since this exercise is part of the main Sizzle app, everything here is in the body, so I am not able to differentiate between a body click and elsewhere in the document. These use the special elements Svelte body and Svelte document. Now if I click on the display and press spacebar, or any key for that matter, you will see number 3 show that a key was pressed. This uses the Svelte body key down. If you resize the window, you will see number 4 show the window size. This uses the Svelte window resize. Number 5 is interesting using recursion, but risky. I will explain when we review the code. As you can see, it's using a nested fragment which is limited to 3 deep. And number 6 uses Svelte elements to create a div dynamically. Okay, let's look at the code. First, open x10_special.svelte. We import a nested fragment component that is called in the markup below. Next, set up state. We have several functions, most fairly obvious. Function handler size uses the window object to show th inner width and height as you resize the window. In the markup, we start with special element Svelte head, used for adding dynamic titles, style, script, metadata to the head section. Next, display of the messages for clicks, key press and window resize. These use the special elements listed below, which use the window, body and document elements. Interestingly, these can call on resize or resize without the colon. Remember, the colon is gone in SK5 rules mode. Okay, back up to number 5 recursive nested component. Note that this calls x10_nested frag with props depth and max depth. These are very important. We will come back to that in a minute. Number 6 uses the special element Svelte elements to dynamically create a div. To the end of the markup, I have explanations for the special elements used. That's the code for main component. Now, for the interesting, but potentially risky recursive code. Open up x10_nested frag. Remember, we are calling that with depth and max depth. Okay, so here is an interesting line. We are importing the component we are running. Yes, it's perfectly doable, and if you use recursion you might use this. So we extract the depth and max depth from the props with defaults. And now we conditionally run x10_nested frag until we hit max depth. Potentially risky if you set the max depth too high or try recursively calling a component within a component. You may not be able to break out of the infinite loop until your computer crashes, with the potential risks that involves. But there are potential good uses. For example, rendering a file system tree, an organizational chart, displaying a nested comment thread where comments can have comments, you get the idea. So it's good for hierarchical data where you do not know the depth. Okay, hopefully that opens up potential uses of Svelte special elements to you. And that is a wrap on this Svelte special elements exercise. I will see you in the next video for the next exercise.